Hello and welcome to this taster presentation on GCSE Business. My name's Miss Jordan. Now I have to ask you, do you have a trust fund of £60 million to live on for once you're 18? Once you're 18 and you're an adult, have you got £60 million coming to you that is going to be yours to spend on what you're going to need throughout your life? It's a big question. I'm taking that maybe you haven't. And if that's the case, at some point in your life, you are going to need to work in a business. And all businesses have the same basic fundamental functions, regardless of whether they are in the private sector, for example, like Shell or Primark, or if they are in the public sector, like Gravesham Council or an NHS hospital or even St George's School. All businesses and organisations have the same four basic functions, and that is what we study in GCSE Business. All of the people in these pictures, and some of them you might not recognise, some of them your parents might recognise, from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Lionel Richie. We have also got ministers, we have got sportsmen, so everything from athletes to movie stars to WWE people. All of these people studied business, and fundamentally business can take you anywhere you want to go, whether that be working for yourself independently as an amazing sportsman, looking at contracts for sponsorship if that's what you're desiring to be, or whether or not you're looking to manage a career in singing. Understanding the fundamentals of how all these things work will help to make your career more successful, and also, if you're looking at running your own business, stop you being ripped off. What are we going to study over the 2 years of your GCSEs? Well, our first year, we're going to study about businesses in the real world. We're going to find out about ownership, how businesses are set up, might help you to set up your own business in the future. We're then going to look at influences on business, and this is about looking at the wider world and finding out kind of what changes how businesses run their business in terms of the type of products they might develop, and how they react to things, how they manage change. Our next part that we learn is going to be human resources, and this is about people, humans, funnily enough. And we're going to learn more about employing staff, what employee rights are about, some of the legislation around that, and also about training, recruitment, all of those aspects, which is what a human resource department would do within a business. In year 2, we're going to look at operations management. This is looking at kind of how products get made, how they get manufactured, how we source materials for them, and supply chains. We talk a lot about ethics in this as well. We carry on after that with looking at marketing, and we look about how marketing campaigns are developed, market research, how we understand what our customers want and what they need. And we finish off year 2 with finance, and that's looking at how we make money, how we calculate profit, how we calculate our costs, because you can be the most successful business person, most creative, inventive business person ever, but if you can't make your product make money, then it's just a hobby. When we're teaching different units, we try and make them as practical as possible. One of the things that we do around operations is we set up production lines, and we look at how we can adapt different production theories into the workplace. In these particular pictures, which are some of very successful GCSE students who've gone on to study A-level, we're working on a cake production line, including packaging, marketing, and the top team, which I believe is featured in the centre photo, the biggest photo, were the winners because they sold the most amount of cakes. I believe it was Mr. Carey bought quite a lot of them for a meeting. But at the end of the day, they went to the person who was a decision maker who could buy the cakes. Now that's a good marketing strategy. Along with doing practical activities in the class where we can, we also run a trip to Thorpe Park. Now, as much as that sounds like it's all rides, and yes, of course we do get to go on some of the rides, we need to have customer experience. We also attend some seminars within that. We find out more about the operations, the marketing and the human resources of Thorpe Park and Merlin Entertainment. with opportunities to visit Thorpe Park, we try and encourage as many people to possibly come in as guest speakers to actually help you to understand businesses and what people do at work. The myriad of jobs that are available now and jobs that we've not even thought of is something that's really important for business students to understand, because they have a wider understanding of the business world. But fundamentally, we learn more about kind of our careers, our opportunities, and as much as possible, how the theory that we learn in class works in the real world. The skills that we learn in business are about really application and looking at real businesses. So we develop our knowledge in terms of the theory, and then we look to apply that into the context of real businesses, whether that is looking at businesses from guest speakers, or whether that's looking at news articles about things that are happening within the news at the moment to businesses as a result of external influences. We begin to learn to problem solve as well, and we start this as soon as we start the GCSE course through analysing different business problems and how the impacts will affect the business in the longer term. We also develop knowledge of those impacts of world events on businesses and on consumers and consumer trends and buying patterns. And finally, we evaluate information and we give judgment using evidence. This is about recommending what a business should do on the basis of your knowledge and understanding. So you're probably curious as to where business can take you. It can take you pretty much anywhere, particularly at GCSE. Whether you want to go into computer science or mechanical engineering, accounting, finance, economics, psychology, all of these things at GCSE will help you or will give you a path from GCSE business into any of those career options. In terms of specialising at A-level, we offer A-level business at St George's, and obviously that would be a slightly more specialist path, but from GCSE business you could even consider law, you might even consider being a medic. But the options are limitless. As I said at the beginning of this presentation, unless you've got £60 million in the bank in a trust fund gifted to you from your very generous family, at some point or other you will work in a business. Understanding how that works will only help you in life. We're now at the end of this presentation, which I hope you found useful and informative. But if you do have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. I'm Miss Jordan, and my email address is jordanc@sgsce.co.uk. No question is too small. If there's anything you would like to discuss, or if you would like to look at the kind of resources that we work with, then I'm very happy to support you and help you in those decisions. Thank you very much for listening.